Government, I know you hear us. We're not involved. We're just talking about
It was
it.
me. Yeah, I read this before I came here. You know, it was a.
Yeah, we're not involved at all. Stop texting me.
Rated E for everything. You're here with Rated E for everything.
The podcast where we talk a little about a lot.
And today we're here with Chanel's brother, Cameron.
Hi. Thanks for having me. Never done anything like this before, so
We're pretty new to it too.
we'll see how it goes.
Tell us a little about yourself, Cam.
I'm not incredibly interesting and very underqualified to be talking about anything I'll be talking about. It tends to be the case in my life.
We'll just have to start with none of these can be considered completely factual. It is opinions and views of the speakers.
Yeah, but if you recall in our first episode, we said that all our views were factual and true, so we might have just contradicted
So
ourselves
that
here,
first thing, yeah.
but they're definitely true, so...
100% true.
Our opinions are right, always.
That's what I always tell myself.
So, little brother-sister Cammy game for the win.
All right. Uh-oh.
All right, so the Cammy game, if you don't know by now, which you probably should, if not, go listen to our other episodes, is a game where we have 4 rounds to say random words and get closer and closer and hopefully match by the end. Ready, Cam?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, state.
Circle.
State and circle. 3, 2, 1, globe. Hell
There it
yeah. Hell
There
yeah.
it is.
So easy. I'm sorry, Carl. It's because we're related.
I'll never be
Yeah.
good enough.
You can't fake that connection.
Well,
It's
that's
years
amazing.
of practice.
I feel pretty confident about this now.
Yeah, it went well.
Okay.
All right, so what are we going to be talking about?
Unbeknownst to me, I guess I've sort of become the conspiracy guy in the family and in the group.
Can confirm.
Yeah, it wasn't a conscious thing. You know, I just think that, well, I think that my opinions are better than yours.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, Cameron in our family and friend group has become known as the conspiracy man. He tends to think a little bit more outside the box when it comes to how things happened or why they happened. So we're just going to kind of dive into his brain here.
It's a dangerous thing. You sure you want to go down that route?
I'm interested.
Oh,
That's what we
boy.
signed up for, so I'm here for it.
I'm going to go ahead and start with the obvious, what's breaking the internet right now.
Yeah,
And
Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, just go ahead and get that one out of the way.
Let's start with that. Who is he?
That was going to be my question. Who is Jeffrey Epstein?
Jeffrey Epstein, he's a super billionaire, well connected with the best of them, all the way up to the Clinton family, the Trumps, the royal family. Officially, he's a philanthropist.
So he's just
So-
a rich guy.
Yeah, pretty much a rich white dude. He's got ties to the Mossad as well as the CIA. Turns out he was just busted about 2 years ago, arrested for solicitation to an underage prostitute.
Okay.
Well, he's got a long list of names, people that hang out with him. I should mention he also owned an island renowned as Pedophile Island off the coast of the Virgin
Wow.
Islands. Yep.
That just seems like a bad start for him.
Yeah. That's what the locals called it. He would fly there on his.
Wait, what did he call it?
I'm not
Just his island.
My island.
regular Raphael Island. He would fly his plane, which was titled the Lolita Express, out
Oh.
to Pedophile Island.
my.
Fun fact: Bill Clinton has been on that plane with Epstein 26 times.
Oh, Bill, you scamp.
That-
What are you getting into now?
That guy.
Sly dog you.
Anyway, so he goes down for solicitation and he's in jail. He's obviously wheeling and dealing because he doesn't want to sit in prison, as any rich white dude wouldn't.
They don't for long.
Attempts suicide about 6 months ago, and I'm throwing the air quotes around that one.
We see them.
the video footage didn't record when that happened.
Sounds a little fishy to me.
A little bit. 6 months later, they take him off of suicide watch. He's now been in prison about a year and a half. Eventually does end up, the official story says that he hung himself. But again, the camera didn't record anything.
Yeah, it just so happens the camera didn't record. And also, I heard the autopsy report came back and did not quite match.
Yeah,
what they're
the
saying.
medical examiner says that the wounds sustained with the broken bones in his throat are definitely more consistent to a homicide.
Nice.
But the city of New York ruled it a suicide already, so, you know.
I'm not sure if it's factual, but I did hear that the 2 guards that were on duty supposed to be doing watch just so happened to miss their rounds. What do we think happened?
I think he got suicided. I think he
got
people came in
suicided.
He
and
became
strangled him to
suicided.
death because he had a long list of names and he was willing to spill the beans. People on that list were a little bit more powerful than him, you know.
Do we think there's a certain person that may have hired him, or do we have someone in mind, or we think it's just
Oh, no, it's they. You know, just a general they.
The
Yeah,
they.
The they. Yeah. That's what it
The
seems
they are
like.
always watching is, I think, a little more accurate. Wouldn't it be scary if we're recording this and then we put it out and then it gets like flagged and taken down or something? That'd be real weird, huh?
just so
Yeah.
happens that they don't want anyone to ever hear this?
If we disappear,
You know why?
yeah,
I
exactly.
am in correct state of mind with no suicidal thoughts. I'd like that to be public
Yeah.
record.
Put that on the record. We're all
I'm
good.
not important enough. Nobody's coming after me. Nobody's
have
listening to
money.
me.
I've talked to you about tons and tons of what people call conspiracies. I guess they're just different ways of thinking. What do you think makes the difference between conspiracy and truth?
Where does it stop being a conspiracy and start being an elaborate plot?
Yeah, so
Well, it's when they get caught.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. When does it stop being where you're talking fact and somehow now you're a conspiracy theorist? Like, you know what you're saying is more factual, but all of a sudden you become labeled this conspiracy. Why is that?
Well, I think that the reason the term conspiracy theorist has the stigma that it does around it is a conspiracy theory. Who'd have thought? No, but I mean, what better
Inception.
way to discredit anybody that isn't going along with the official story than to just say, well, he's a conspiracy nut.
He's just crazy, exactly.
Chock full of conspiracies, you know?
What do you think is one of the biggest conspiracies out there?
I mean, obviously 9/11 would be the big one of my generation.
I think that we should get into that.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, all right. You want to wrap up the official story then? What happened on 9/11?
Terrorists flew planes into the buildings and everybody died.
Yeah.
And then the Pentagon, and then mysteriously a plane went down somewhere in Pennsylvania.
Shanksville.
And no black box was discovered, which is, I've always thought that was odd because aren't those meant to withstand like everything?
Like plane crashes and stuff
Yeah.
like that? Yeah.
It's real weird.
Yeah. So officially the story, on 9/11, 19 hijackers boarded 4 different planes and through about 3 to 4 hours took them off their official routes. Flight 19, that was the flight that the passengers overpowered the terrorists. They took the plane down themselves. It was obviously the last one still in the air. After the 2 had hit the tower, the 1 had hit the Pentagon. They kind of knew their fate and decided, let's ditch this plane in a field, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really found any big parts of the plane that landed there, though.
How do you lose a plane?
That's
I mean,
the
planes
question.
get lost all the time. Just a year or 2 ago with that Malaysian flight, we couldn't find that guy for...
Glad we brought that up. That's always interested me as well. I feel like that's a little fishy.
How do you lose a giant flying piece of metal? Like,
You
where does
know-
it go? Besides, like, if it falls in the ocean, I get that. The ocean's uncharted, whatever. But, like, the Pennsylvania one, wasn't it? It was just in a field. Like, how do you lose it?
I mean, okay, so we have the official crash site and everything, but if you go ahead and Google a couple of pictures of the plane that went down in Shanksville and compare them to every other jumbo jet, even a private jet that's gone down any time since we've had them, compare those 2 pictures. There's clearly going to be a plane crashed in one of them, not in Shanksville. It's a little fishy.
So, what do we think happened off the official record?
What do I think happened? Well, I'm not going to go ahead and say that Americans would have done this, but I think that we knew it was coming. We let it happen. I'd say that because we have really significant interests in the Middle East. It's actually Afghanistan is where we went to war with as soon as that happened, like 2 days after we declared war. We're still in Afghanistan today. It's the longest war in American history.
And it'll probably keep going on because I feel like that's just what they want is just perpetual war that's never ending.
They want the land.
They want the poppy seeds.
Yeah.
It's the most heroin-producing region on Earth, the Afghanistan region with their poppy plants. And since we've been at war with Afghanistan, with United States troops in the region, our opioid crisis has just exploded. I'm
Funny how
sure
that
that's
works.
a coincidence.
There's no correlation there at all, I would say.
So, a couple things about 9/11. There's a few theories.
Oh, can I say it, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams.
There it is. You
Yeah,
heard
there's
it
a
here.
classic argument.
Also, there's pictures where supposed explosions elsewhere in the building went off before planes were there. How do you feel about those?
Definitely should be asking some questions about that. Questions that they didn't ask in the 9/11 Commission, the official statement of what happened on 9/11. Also not mentioned in the 9/11 Commission was Building 7, World Trade Center Building 7. Have you guys heard of this? It's a building that did not get hit by a plane and that just fell over a couple hours after Towers 1 and 2.
And what was the official reason for that one falling over? I can't
Structural
remember.
damage due to fires.
Yeah,
there was
that's what I thought.
a couple of fires on a couple of floors, probably from debris, because there was fucking planes that hit. There have been 3 skyscrapers ever in human history that have fallen down as a result of being on fire, and they all happened on September 11, 2001.
Also, at the Pentagon, isn't it true that there's no way for the angle of that plane that they said hit to actually happen? And also, didn't that camera footage mysteriously disappear?
Yeah, okay, so as soon as the plane hit, and I'm throwing those air quotes up again, intelligence came and took every security camera, everything from the area. There's like one that got leaked. It's like 4 frames that show a blur and then some fire, So
you're telling me that we can have our license plates clearly pictured for iPass, but we can't get a giant plane in a frame?
iPass got me the other day. I can't even read the license plate in the picture they sent me, but I know it's my car. Yeah. Okay, so Hani Hanyor was apparently the hijacker that was flying that plane. Hani Hanyor was renowned to be a terrible pilot who could not even safely operate a small single-engine plane.
And he just so happened to
He executed
land.
a 270-degree, 4,000-foot descent at above 500 miles an hour to come within feet of the ground before impacting his target.
Did he turn into Maverick overnight from Top Gun?
Must have, yeah. He was in the danger zone.
I don't know that Maverick could have even pulled that off. Like, that's
I
insane.
mean, it's Tom Cruise. Come on now. He's basically a superhero.
Well, yeah.
Mind you, if you look at some pictures of the front of the Pentagon building where the impact hit, what you don't see are wings. Also, what you don't see is any sort of debris. The scraps that they picked up after that, they picked up with their hands. Where'd the plane go? The 747 is a massive piece of equipment. Where are the 2 to 4 Rolls-Royce jet turbine engines it should have had?
So we have a little bit of a theme here with missing planes, huh?
Yeah, I mean, planes apparently real good at disappearing.
I guess David Copperfield was there too, huh?
Might have been.
Just another note, 9/11 was a very serious and tragic event. And
Yeah,
we
the
don't mean
fact
to
of
make
that
light.
matter is that 3,000 Americans died on that day, and that's a terrible thing.
And we don't mean to make light of that. It's not that wasn't a great loss to everyone. So just to throw that in there, we're not trying to disrespect any of the fallen people that day.
It's more
But I
like
got some questions.
yeah, it's more like the reason behind it occurred that we're a little skeptical about.
Right,
You know?
Exactly. So
Apparently, England knew about it, gave us warning. Italy knew about it, gave us warning. Germany knew about it, gave us warning. Turns out that NORAD, the something along the lines of the North American Air Defense System, happened to be conducting drills that day. This is a common theme when tragedy strikes, especially in the United States, is that we were running drills that day. Those drills being a situation where hijackers took commercial airliners and targeted them at buildings.
Isn't that ironic? I also feel like we run a lot of drills with no prevention for the reason those drills are being run.
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to make you better, but I mean, obviously the drill failed then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We need to drill more, I guess.
No, 'cause
Nice.
every time we no.
Never mind.
Less drilling,
The last
I would
thing we
say.
want.
That's not what she said.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
All right, so if I'm to understand correctly, this isn't the first time that something just happened to spark a war where America could then occupy some land. Am I right?
Occupy, get involved in, even invade. We can go. Let's go through the century just real quick.
I have a quick question before we get started. Have you seen the movie Zeitgeist?
I have, yeah.
How do you feel about that? I
Yeah, I
remember
was
watching
probably
that. And
probably about 17 when I saw that movie, and it kind of got me started, I guess, down the rabbit hole.
I would say I agree with that because after I saw that movie, I would say I've definitely been a lot more open to different theories about things because that is it's pretty interesting evidence that it presents and result like just about things in general.
Yeah, and I really like that movie in particular, Zeitgeist, because it's not just hammering home, the government did this to you. It actually the message of that movie is to question the official narrative, ask some questions that maybe the lead anchor on CNN is not asking.
Which I think should be just practice for everything. Everyone needs to be questioned. No one's right. No one has all the answers.
What point in history where we were like, oh yeah, the government's totally cool and has our backs? It's never happened before.
No.
I feel like we're coming closer and closer to Orwell's 1984 every
every
day. Like,
oh man, don't get me started. Oh,
what a good book. I mean,
yeah,
It's
well, he
not
was on to
1984,
something.
It's 2024. It's coming.
Yeah, it's already here. I mean, how many Alexas are in this room right now?
Oh, it's lighting up now. Now you have to talk to her.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Alexa,
I said
stop
her.
listening to me,
I'm part of
please.
the system.
Yeah.
I only listen after you
Oh,
push the
stop.
button to talk to me.
Oh, goodness.
my girlfriend is convinced that the robot apocalypse is coming. I think that's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's called the Singularity, and it's on its way.
Have you seen, I think her name is Sophia, the robot? Can we talk about
she's
her a little bit?
terrifying. She's fucking awful.
Yeah.
Or the Boston Dynamics robots that like shooting guns and shit.
There's dogs that can do backflips. I don't know what the purpose
Yeah.
of those robots are, but we have them.
Did nobody see the Terminator?
Yeah.
Like we don't know where this is going.
Yeah, really.
Also, Sophia is now has dual citizenship. Like she's considered a being. Like
We got people that can't get citizenship where they need it, and this
Right.
fucking robot's got dual citizenship.
yeah, and I forget. I have no
She
idea.
paying
what the name-
taxes or what?
She better be. I have no idea what the name of this AI is, but there's also an AI that is a pop star and a supermodel, and people religiously follow her. And she speaks and she can reply with sassy attitude, and she does runway walks, and that just seems horrifying
It's
to me.
absolutely horrifying. Yeah. You hear about the Google AI that had to get shut down because it became incredibly racist?
Oh, no.
Oh yeah,
That sounds awesome.
yeah, that happened.
You might want to know what kind of people are around that robot then.
Well, yeah, who built that? Got some questions.
For real.
Didn't one of the banks just like, I mean, not just, but recently come up with like an AI that they like had a TV ad for?
Oh god.
I feel like I remember seeing something like that. I don't know. It's creepy. The whole thing is very
You don't have
odd to
enough
me.
banks. You don't have enough.
I feel like there's just only one outcome, and we all know what it is.
Yeah, because we seen Terminator.
Yeah, exactly. iRobot, anyone?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I was thinking of is iRobot. but-
right.
It's not like we haven't been warned. You know, we got Jurassic Park, and they stopped trying to clone the mammoth. You know, I mean, we learned a lesson there. Because what if? No, we're just gonna march right on into this technological apocalypse.
Yeah. All right, so circling back around, lay down some of the things that have happened that have just so happened to coincide when we want to invade or occupy some land.
Okay, we'll do the century. Okay, the 20th century. World War I's going on. Franz Ferdinand's been assassinated. The United States has spent about 2 years now saying, "Sorry guys, we're staying out of it." Right? Well, things start playing out that maybe looks like we got some interests here. Manufacturing mostly, economical reasons. So 1915.
How in any way can war be economical? Don't you just spend money?
But it creates jobs as well. People get jobs
You haven't
in
heard about the
manufacturing.
military-industrial complex?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I know.
Thank you, Dwight D.
So 1915, the RMS Lusitania It's torpedoed by some German U-boats, right?
Oh, I've heard about this.
It's a
one.
British ship, right? It's in an area that they have been warned. It's been public knowledge. The German embassy in the United States warned all ships traveling through, like, don't come through this area. There's U-boats. They will fucking shoot torpedoes at you, right? So they did. They went through that area and they got fucking torpedoed, and the boat went down, and there was almost 2,000 passengers on board. About 1,200 of them died. Of those, I think something about 200 Americans. So then, shortly after that, we have plenty of just cause. We enter World War I in 1916. The war ends in 1918. We like to take a lot of credit for that.
Make it seem like we did all the work.
And we didn't even get over there until like a year later after we entered the war, right? Like, we got there in 1917.
We were there for maybe 2 years.
Yeah. That's what I remember reading about in the quote-unquote history books last year, was how we didn't...
I appreciate that air quote. Or mouth quote? I don't know.
So that calms down the world. It actually doesn't get a whole lot better in the time between World War I and II. But then the Nazi Party comes up. They're raging hell in Europe. At this point, they've conquered most of it, and the U.S. is standing by, still going, hey, you know what, guys, we're going to sit this one out. Nobody's coming, there's no Nazis over here in America, so we're cool. We were pretty concerned about the Pacific and the Japanese. So then we station our entire naval fleet, the whole fucking thing, over at Pearl Harbor. Guess what? For drills, right? Yeah. It's a bright Saturday morning or some shit like that, and all of a sudden here come the Zeros. They raise hell in Pearl Harbor. Months later, we are balls deep in World War II, right?
Drills.
Now, this one I don't have that big a problem with because, well, somebody had to go stop the fucking Nazis, right?
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, a very effective group. I suppose individual that led to a group. Insanely intelligent, horrible, horrific, terrible, but really effective, intelligent, and got amazing things done. Horribly amazing.
Oh, we talking about Hitler?
We're talking about Hitler.
I mean, he had to be like the best motivational speaker ever, right? How else do you fucking convince? Holy shit! Like,
it's amazing. It's incredible.
Something odd. I've always said that at my fantasy dinner party, not Hitler, but Stalin would be there.
oh yeah. Speaking of
Wait,
Stalin,
I want a whole fantasy dinner party conversation. Like, can we do a podcast later about
no
fantasy?
problem.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
all right, I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Stalin, World War II is kind of my wheelhouse, right? I know like a weird amount about World War
Way
II.
too much for any one human.
And what I've come to realize as a whole is that we as Americans have this the attitude that we have about everything, where we went and kicked ass in World War II. We got them goddamn Nazis, But really, the MVP of World War II is by far the Soviets. Holy hell!
I agree wholeheartedly with that.
They went through hell and back, and they really kicked some Nazi ass. That's for sure.
I once got into an argument with a kid at school that was like, "Yeah, the Americans took Berlin," and I was like, "Well, I can tell you for a fact that that's not accurate because it was the Soviets
in Berlin at the end."
we were mostly in the Japanese
Still in
islands,
France, and we were hopping around the islands. Yeah.
I just have a question. Does your friend actually sound like that? Because, wow.
I honestly can't remember who I had the argument with, but I was like, "Listen, I was just in U.S. history, and I've also played Call of Duty World at War. Like, I know what I'm talking
Total
about."
pro.
Expert.
Yeah. I've seen Saving Private Ryan 3 times.
Exactly.
What is it? Was the other one with Brad Pitt? Is it Fury?
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
That is a good movie.
Excellent movie. Yeah. Let's go back to World War I real quick. I just saw 1917.
How was that?
Go see that movie.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's refreshing. It's something different that you haven't seen before. Yeah. I don't want to give away a whole bunch, but there's something sets in right about the 15-minute mark of this movie, and you realize, holy shit, this is a different kind of movie.
I'm intrigued. I don't
Yeah,
even.
me too.
I tend to stay away from war movies because I cry a lot. So, but I'm intrigued now. I'm gonna have to.
You don't have any time to cry in this movie.
Oh no.
Yeah, it goes real quick.
Chanel can't even watch War Horse.
Nope.
Oh well, I mean, who would put themselves through that?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
You pretty much know what you're getting into. It's like it's like watching a movie about a dog. Why are you gonna go through that?
Listen, it doesn't matter what movie. Like, give me Toy Story. Give me like a happy movie. I just cry. I just have so many feelings.
That's right. My fiance cries at some commercials sometimes.
Oh my gosh, I forgot what it was, but there was a commercial about this woman in space that like Skyped. I don't know if that's a thing, but they Skyped their family, and I just bawled my eyes out like for minutes, like for a while after the commercial. Like, it's horrible.
I mean, like any Budweiser commercial is
no.
just gonna leave you in pieces.
I remember a TV show I was watching. They were like, "You just cried at an ad about an old couple getting their like money from a bank," and they were like, "But they were finally able to afford their house." And then
It's a dream come
yeah,
true.
and then the other person's like, "Do you know that the old man in that movie played a Nazi in Schindler's List? Does that change anything for you?"
No, it was an acting gig. I mean, what?
Come on, man.
Oh man, people getting way too sensitive nowadays, and
For real, that's a whole nother topic.
you know he's acting, right? He's not actually a Nazi.
Next podcast episode, sensitivity.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. That's a good one. Actually, we should probably find
You guys,
maybe Cameron.
there you go. You guys caught that monologue from Richie Gervais from the Golden Globes?
Epic,
Oh, my
epic.
Yeah.
Win,
The world needed
win.
that. Yeah.
I laughed so hard and also was like, yeah, true. And then I saw Tom Hanks' face and I felt like
Yeah.
a bad person. Like, should
No,
I be
I mean,
upset? Like,
that
I
was
don't know.
the face of like, well, I've been telling you guys.
That was not a bad impression, by the way.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
That was pretty good.
So what happened next? Let's see. The Nazis. Then Vietnam would be the next big one in the U.S. checklist, right?
I know exactly where you're going, and I'm so excited for it.
You won't believe this. We had a boat. It was in some dangerous waters that had been warned against sailing through.
Was it during drills?
No, but it was in the area. This was actually a military boat. It was the USS Maddox. But anyway, they're in some contested waters over by North Vietnam. They get run up on by 3 North Vietnamese warships. The Maddox fires 3 warning shots at each of these North Korean ships, which they respond by unleashing hell.
Yep.
You know, it's a full-on overseas gun battle.
In any type of battle, is a warning shot really a thing? Like, if you fire a gun, they're firing back.
I mean, you shoot at me, whether it's at the ground in front of me or at me, you're shooting at me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, so this whole big battle, and there's the air quotes again, takes place. We hear about it, then we get the numbers back. Finally, there are 4 North Vietnamese dead, 6 wounded. There is 1 single bullet hole in the Maddox. It's on the top deck, but that gives us just cause. They fucking shot at us. Get the boys. We're going to Vietnam.
After we shot warning
Yeah,
shots.
our,
at
our
them.
warning shots. Yeah.
LBJ's like, let's get right into this.
was-
Jump right
and,
in.
obviously, that was the least popular war in American history. I mean, I don't have to go into detail about that. So yeah, there's just a real quick 20th century wrap up of American wars and how we got there.
All right. So, jumping off of any type of wars or politics, what is your favorite or most interesting or most fun conspiracy theory or anything that you can think of that you'd like to touch on?
All right, I like that question. Here's a fun one. I am no flat earther, okay?
Okay.
We live on a globe that
yes.
it's a ball. That ball is in space. It's revolving around other balls that are in space, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
B.O.B., you're fucking stupid.
But a fun one to get into, and one that's kind of, I guess it's so fun because it's way too sophisticated for any normal people like us to debunk or to concur. The International
not
Space
Carl.
Station is fake.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, think about that.
Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
Me neither.
That one's a bit fringe, and you can go ahead and take your telescope and you can see that the International Space Station is up there going around the planet, right? But what I'm not buying are the live stream videos with the fucking electrified Barbie hair you know, bouncing around,
description.
adjusting your wires and that are coming back. And I think a good reason to be doing that is that there are like tens and tens of billions of dollars that are poured into NASA every year. That's taxpayer money, but you know, if they're not really doing that much with the space station, that's just money they can just take.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, go ahead and get on YouTube, watch some videos of some people busting the people on the space station, and there's a couple you'll think, yeah, that's a fake as fuck video.
So if we're going there, since we've already left the atmosphere,
Yes.
the moon landing. What do we think?
We landed on the moon.
I think so too, but there is so many people that say otherwise.
Yeah, there is. I think my personal opinion is that I believe we landed on the moon because I think it'd be a lot harder to fake it. Like, how many people would have to be involved? How many people are keeping their mouths shut about it? And all that we have is speculation. We don't have concrete. We don't have people that used to work there with official statements of, this is the set that I built for NASA. You know, there are some instances where things that have happened down here on Earth have been filmed, edited, and then put to the public through NASA as things that happened in space. They've been busted doing that before, but as a whole, I think it'd be too hard to fake the Apollo missions. I think it'd be easier to go to the fucking moon than to have almost 10 rocket missions and try to get all that together and all those people on the same page. I think that what we found on the moon when we got there is not quite what they've told us that we found up there, but that's a different story.
Transformers is what I'm hearing you
That's
say.
what I've heard. Yeah. You guys know.
Have you heard the thing where it's like, everyone can calm down, aliens don't exist. We would have known with Trump in office. He would have leaked it on Twitter in the first week, so we're good.
Well, I mean, but then they go ahead and say the guy lies about every single thing he talks about.
Yeah, true.
So, which is it?
We won't get into that.
Well, since you just brought it up,
Oh no.
Area 51.
Oh my gosh, the quote unquote raid.
Oh god, the raid it ended exactly how I imagined it. Couple hundred nerds standing around in the desert.
I could not tell you that I would have guessed 5 years ago if someone said we're gonna raid Area 51 that what we would get would be food trucks and Naruto runs. That's not what I would have ever guessed, so threw me off a bit.
Well, you're not all that familiar with the millennials, are you?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a whole different world these days. 5 years ago was
absolutely.
a long time in any kind of internet terms, really.
Chanel and I grew up with a very old school dad, and I think we're a part of a dying breed over here.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But what are you gonna do? Those darn kids these days,
Fucking hate my generation. God.
Sorry, Carl.
It's not okay. I mean, I would say it's okay, but it's not. They're just so terrible.
Well, are you Gen Z? Or are you a millennial?
I don't
I
know.
believe Gen Z.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that how that works? I don't know, but it's pretty bad. Like, just I feel like my generation isn't the worst though. I feel like as you get people who are younger than me, I would say who are now sophomores in high school, like it's just we're fucked.
I'm not sure if I'm just getting old and grumpy where I'm like, man, young kids are horrible, or if people are just getting worse. I don't know.
It kind of seems like that's the way that it just tends to go. Is the older you get, the more you scowl at the people younger than
Right,
you.
exactly. I'm not sure if that's what's happening. I think that's what's happening.
Back in my day.
Yeah, right.
It's bad that I feel that already at 18.
No, I was right there with you.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't feel so bad about it.
All right, Cameron. What else? What else you got to tell us?
What else?
What
I
do we
got
need to
tell
know?
You? What do you need to know? Well, I mean, I don't want to get too far out there. I want to have some friends after this one's over. Tulsi Gabbard should have been president as of 2020. That's what I got to tell you.
I don't know who that is.
Who?
You won't hear from her. She recently was knocked out of the race. She might run as somebody's VP or another, but
I'm so bad at politics that I'm staying out of this.
yeah, it's a touchy one. It's hard these days. It's like we forgot how to talk to each other about things as soon as it comes to politics. I think that's the real problem we're having is the breakdown in discussion.
I agree, because people get so upset. You're like, I don't really agree with that. And they're like, man,
Yeah.
get out of here.
Yeah, I'm
It's
triggered.
Yeah. It's like we lost the whole definition of debate or conversation, and
Yeah.
then now it's just fighting.
Everybody's
Yeah.
yelling, nobody's listening.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no conversation. It's just we're attacking now. You can't talk about it. You're attacking.
Because I could have my opinions on something, and granted, like, you could tell me your opinions, and my opinions might not change, but it's nice to hear the other perspective.
That's how it should be. You should constantly be wanting to learn. You should be learning what people think, learning how people think, learning new things, and maybe even at some point changing your thoughts because you've learned so much.
Exactly.
That's what you call growth. And something we're not doing a whole lot of anymore.
Right.
There is middle ground. It's
Yeah.
there, guys. It is.
Let's just throw it back to our good guy Abe. A house divided, and that's
Yeah.
all it is right now.
Oh man, that guy. Fuck the mammoth. We should clone Abe. Get him
Yes,
back in
yes.
office.
We need him.
All right, I got one for you. You guys ever hear about Nazis in Antarctica?
Nope.
No. How about South America?
I want to know.
Oh, I've heard South America. I heard Hitler was living in Argentina for a real long time.
That would fall under conspiracy, but what is fact is that there was at least a couple thousand Nazis that fled the Nuremberg trials and set up colonies in South America. Colonies that exist and are real big fans of the Nazis today. These are, indigenous brown people that worship people like Himmler and Hitler and Goebbels and all of them.
I know you can't see us, but me and Carl just gave each other the wildest look. Like, what the fuck? What is happening here?
It's sort of one of those things where it's like, how have we not taken care of that yet?
Yeah, nobody went down there like, well, we heard. And then as far as Antarctica,
Yeah, what?
so there was very well documented expeditions from the Nazi Party that describe how they went down there and set up what would be their last stronghold, I guess. It's basically fucking impossible to get down there. We're talking about in the mid to early 40s. They did it. They built this super big, super militaristic bunker.
Wait, is this fact or these?
This is fact.
Okay, whoa.
You're telling me there's a military bunker in Antarctica?
Was
Oh.
for the next 3 or 4 years after the war ended. I believe it was Truman. He sent several expeditions out to the Antarctic to go and bomb the ever-living shit out of that bunker. That's all documented. What's not documented in a pretty weird way is any of the things that we recovered from Antarctica. It's just this big gaping hole in the record.
Chanel, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I have so many thoughts. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
they totally had the aliens down there.
Hydra?
Oh my gosh. You mean Shield?
Oh my gosh.
Everything makes sense now. Wait, did we recover Cap's shield? There's a whole conversation we have to have about how Cameron is so sick and tired of superhero movies, so
Oh
we'll just let
my
that go.
god. Saturation sickness. How many fucking superhero movies do you people need?
This is what I mean, where you can have a civil discussion. Me and Carl are huge superhero comic Marvel DC nerds that adore it, and Cameron cannot stand it at this point. And look at us. We can sit here and talk about it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's
No,
not
I'm
like
not mad at all.
it's not every, if it's got a superhero in it, I'm out. It's not like that. I just recently watched The Joker with Joaquin, and that movie is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Dark Knight series that Christopher Nolan did is some of the best film in film history.
Best ever.
Yeah.
Best movie.
Undoubtedly. I even liked what was the Avengers one that I liked?
Infinity War.
Yeah, Infinity War was pretty cool. But Jesus Christ, you guys are listening to the same story over and over again. The costume's a different color, or the superpower is a little bit different, but
One could argue the same about any movie. A zombie movie, a war movie. It's
absolutely
same story. There's nothing new.
It's too much too soon, because there's 4 or 5 of these movies a year coming out, and they're all making $100 billion.
See, me and Carl think opposite. Like, now is the time. People are interested. Release them.
The time is
Yeah.
now.
I mean, I understand it from the business standpoint too, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, how many times can I see that guy playing that character
That's how
saving
I
the day
feel-
from the aliens that are coming from the portal in the sky, and they have to get the rock or the stone or the sphere or the cube to the right spot to do the right,
Yeah, I feel the same way about every new zombie movie that comes out. I mean, the only acceptable zombie movie for me to watch at this point is Shaun of the Dead.
Oh my god.
Amazing, epic. I can watch it forever.
I
But
won't argue with you that's in my top 3 all-time movies.
me too.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I mean, there are good zombie movies, but it's the same thing. Like, it's the same story. It's over and over. You're not changing much. Oh, that one can run.
I
Wow,
was just gonna
cool.
say,
Yeah, right.
sometimes they're faster.
If you give them enough sequels, they learn how to use the guns,
Right? Like, everyone was going batshit about World War Z, which was a great movie, but, like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
That was, what's his name, Max Brooks. He wrote the Zombie Survival Guide, and I think that's why it got the hype that it got. Although, I mean, you had what's his name, Brad Pitt. He's gonna sell hard, and then it was a really cool fucking movie.
It was cool, yeah. It's just
When's the
same.
last time you saw Jerusalem get destroyed in a movie? My favorite zombie movie that's not with Simon Pegg in it.
Yeah.
Is gotta be a French movie called Horde. It's subtitled. You'd have to sit through that, but it is just dirty, grimy, nasty zombie slaying for 2 hours, and it's perfect.
Sounds fun. I'm gonna have to say my next favorite zombie movie, if I had to pick one, would be Train to Busan.
Yeah, I recently saw that one because our mother demanded that I see it, and it was a
Worth
lot
it?
better than I thought it'd be. Yeah, for sure.
That's how we go from aliens to zombies.
Just like that.
To return to superheroes, have you watched The Boys, Cameron?
I've seen a couple episodes. Cammy's real big into The Boys, and I like the concept there.
Yeah.
And I like the whole anti-hero thing they got going.
That's-
It's fresh,
That's
it's
what I was
new.
gonna say. Is you would probably like that because it's like, wow, not all like these superheroes are kind of dicks, and it also satirizes like
Yeah,
superheroes
and
as
like
a whole.
they do murder and shit. You know?
Exactly.
I just realized that we never prefaced that this is Cameron, the fiance of the creator of the Cammy game.
Yep, that's her.
I forgot to even touch on that. So this is Cammy's fiance, Cameron, and she's.
We've
the
heard all the
originator.
jokes.
Yeah, Cam and Cammy, they know.
By the way, her and I are terrible at playing that game together. Yeah.
Really?
We cannot get a match, no.
Well, I feel kind of honored now.
I mean, maybe the writing's on the wall. I kid.
Cammy, we love you.
I love you so much, baby.
All right, Cameron. Well, thank you so much. You got any other conspiracy things you might want to throw out there before we wrap this up?
I think we can call it here.
Like Nessie or Bigfoot or anything?
What about JFK?
There was a second shooter. Nessie was a seal that got photoshopped, and Bigfoot's out there.
That's it. All right. Thank you for listening. Subscribe and listen next week.
This was Rated E for Everything.